And we're back for our daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. After a smaller slate yesterday, we get 15 games to choose from today, and I think we're going to do better here for our Friday, April 11th MLB schedule of games. And before we get to the best bets, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more daily best bets here on the channel. Later today, we're going to have our NBA predictions out for you. All 15 teams play in the NBA today. So that means, all 30 teams in the NBA play today, which means we're going to predict every single game in the NBA today, all 15. That's going to take a minute. So make sure to join us later today on the channel for that. No NBA on Saturday, and then we have the final day of the regular season coming up on Sunday. On Greedo Plays MMA, make sure to go subscribe over there. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're over halfway there, so make sure to help us out and subscribe down in the description down below. We're going to have our UFC 314 predictions out. Those are already out on the channel. Link in the description down below. And also our PFL 2 predictions. The main event has changed yet again. It is now Leandro Higo versus Mateus Matos in the main event, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. No, Marci Alves. God, I don't know what the Professional Fighters League is doing. It's ridiculous. Anyways, let's get on to the first of our 5 bets in the MLB. We're starting things off here in Florida with the Tampa Bay Rays and the Atlanta Braves. I know what you might be thinking. We're taking the Braves to lose. A team that has bounced back and won 2 of 3. Marcell Ozuna hits the walk-off 2-run home run. A horrible bottom half of the inning, by the way, for the Phillies yesterday. That was just a weird game, right? A 3-hour rain delay in Atlanta. The Braves end up winning the baseball game 4-2 after both teams don't score in the 10th. The Phillies score in the 11th inning. They had bases loaded, 2 outs. Kyle Schwarber hits one to the warning track, so the Phils only get 1. Atlanta scores 3 in the bottom half of the inning to win the game outright. So the Braves end up winning that 3-game set against the Philadelphia Phillies. It is what it is. It's okay. The Washington Nationals are going to win the National League East this season. We'll get to them in a second. But Atlanta, guys, that game went so late. That game ended, local time for me. That ended at 11 o'clock for me. So that means that game didn't end until 1 o'clock 2 o'clock on the East Coast. And Atlanta's got to play a game, 14 hours later against the Rays. Again, I know it's not that far of a flight for them from Georgia to Florida, but still, you got to pack all your stuff up. Well, it's getaway day, but still, you got to get all your stuff and get out of there. It's just going to be a tough game for them. I think it is. Again, you don't want to dive too deep into things, but you got to think about it. Lack of sleep. You're flying out now in the middle of the night. You get to Florida. Now you got to immediately get ready for a game. I feel like that favors the Rays a lot. And sure, we did have Tampa Bay yesterday, and they got absolutely mauled by the Los Angeles Angels. Shout out to Mike Trout for 2 home runs. But my goodness, that was bad. I understand that. The pitching matchup tonight, Bryce Elder versus Taj Bradley. It should be okay, I hope. Taj Bradley's had a mixed bag of results. Yeah, he'll give up runs, but he will get you strikeouts. 7 strikeouts in both of his 2 starts. And Bryce Elder wasn't good in his 1 start of the season. In Los Angeles against the Dodgers, gave up 3 runs in 4 innings. It wasn't all that great. I think the Rays are going to be able to win this game. I feel like the Braves bats are going to be extremely cold. They've been cold all year long, and really, with the exception of that first game in this series where they score 5 runs off of Zach Wheeler, which is something in its own right. They've still been cold. They scored 3 runs in the second Phillies game, and sure, Ozuna is the 2-run shot, but they went 10 innings scoring 1 run in this game. So and it was a solo home run in the first inning that screwed our NRFI. No, it wasn't. It was a ground out. They basically loaded 1 out. It is what it is. They screwed up our NRFI, but they score 1 run in the first inning, and then they go 10 innings without scoring a single run. So I don't care. The Braves bats are still extremely cold. They got to go on the road now after walking off, sure, and picking up a great victory, but you leave Atlanta at the earliest 3:30 in the morning last night, and now you got to play the Rays the day after. There is going to be some fatigue, and I think the Braves are going to lose. Other than Marcell Ozuna and I guess Austin Riley, who delivered that big double in the bottom of the 11th, this team's still ice cold. Sean Murphy's been having a decent season as well, but I mean, Albie still hasn't gotten it going. Michael Harris, not really. Jared Kelenick's still free out, right? Matt Olson hasn't been that good this year yet. I mean, this team is still ice cold, and I don't care. The Rays have been pretty bad, and trust me, we are going to stay away from the Tampa Bay Rays a lot after this game. I think we're pushing our luck a little bit with Tampa Bay just because they are 5-7. They've lost, 8 out their last 9 games. No, they've only have 7 losses. Sorry, 6 out their last 7 games. My math wasn't really working there. I'm not sold, but I think they win this baseball game just because, again, Atlanta coming into Tampa Bay late last night, early in the morning, and I think the Rays should have enough to win this one. I don't mind Taj Bradley on the mound. At the same time, for Atlanta, I don't know what we're going to get out of Bryce Elder. I'm not sold with him either. So I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Rays here. I think it's a good spot. I'm given the circumstances. So we're going to take Tampa Bay at home, minus 120 here at home against the Atlanta Braves. And now let's go to our daily Washington Nationals best bet of the day. We're keeping it simple today. Washington Nationals money line, minus 120. This is the first time all season long the Washington Nationals have been favored to win a baseball game, and we are absolutely cashing in right now. Okay, so I've been seeing a lot of ESPN has Cal Quantrill starting tomorrow for the Miami Marlins, but I'm looking on, various betting apps, and I'm looking at Yahoo now, and they all have now TBD starter for the Marlins. The one thing that I'm seeing, I'm trying to read through Marlins Twitter, if such a thing exists, but I'm trying to read through a bunch of, Marlins fan pages, whatnot. They're considering bringing Edward Cabrera off of IR, I think, to potentially pitch today. Now, Sandy Alcantara is on maternity leave, but he should be back on Saturday. So I think this is Quantrill's start. I could see potentially maybe that Edward Cabrera gives it a go, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Cal Quantrill starting tonight for the Marlins, which I love, by the way, because you look at Cal Quantrill's 2 starts this season, okay? The one start against the Mets, he goes 4 innings, gives up 8 hits, 6 runs, 2 homers. You look at his second start of the year, he goes 5 innings, 0 runs. That's against the Atlanta Braves. That team's weird. They go through their weird stretches. They don't score against Cal Quantrill, but they get 5 runs off of Zach Wheeler. Make it make sense. But I'm fine with the Cal Quantrill matchup for the Washington Nationals. And at the same time, the Nationals have arguably their best pitcher on the mound tonight. Mackenzie Gore's great, but I think that speaks to how great Mitchell Parker might be able to be this season. Parker, 2 starts, 2 wins for the Nationals. Against the Phillies, he goes 6 innings, 0 runs. D-backs game, 6 innings, 0 runs. Mitch has been on fire this season. The second year southpaw lefty, obviously, for the Nationals has been really good. .73 ERA to start the season, and I think he goes straight over the Miami Marlins tonight. I think Mitchell Parker has a big night, and again, get used to Washington Nationals money line. We're not going to hit it every day, but I'm not joking when I say this. The Washington Nationals have 10 straight road games here. Okay, it's their real first big road trip of the season. They went to Toronto earlier in the year. They got swept. But the Nats are playing much better ball. This is a team that's coming off of beating the Diamondbacks and Dodgers in back-to-back series. Yes, the Nationals beat the D-backs and Dodgers in back-to-back series. They go for 10 straight road games here, 3 in Miami, 3 in Pittsburgh, and 3 in Colorado. I'm not joking when I say this. This team is going to go 9-1 on this road trip. And that's not me being a Nats homer. I legitimately, 8-2 maybe. But no, I legitimately think 9-1 is not a stretch. I legitimately think now, and I've gotten so much hope watching that D-backs and Dodgers series, that this Nationals team is here to compete. Guys, they were a Kike Hernandez diving play away from sweeping the Dodgers, and they'd be 6-6 right now going into the road trip. They're 5-7. I'm not joking when I say this. They will leave the road trip and head back to DC on April 22nd against the Orioles, a 14-8 baseball team. They are ready to compete this season, and this is the step up they take. And I'm not joking when I say this is a huge game in the trajectory of this season. Sure, they could still win the series if they lose today, but they're not going to. And they could, eventually climb up to 7-8. It is huge this team gets over 500 with this series against the Marlins, because last year, the Nationals could never get over that hump. They would always get back to 500 and never get a game over 500. With a sweep of the Marlins, they can get over 500, and I think ultimately the one game they will lose on this road trip is on Monday against the Pirates with Paul Skeens on the mound. I understand Skeens is coming off a really bad start. I doubt he has back-to-back bad starts. But other than that, I think the Nats are going 9-1 on the road trip, and this is the start right here. It's a phenomenal pitching matchup. Mitchell Parker's been the best pitcher all year long for the Nats. Cal Quantrill, not very good. And also last year, the Nationals bitched the Marlins. Let's just be honest, guys. The Nats weren't very good last season. Trust me, I watch every single game every single season, so I know. But this was one of the few teams they would always just roll. And the Nationals have always had problems with the Marlins. They swept this team multiple times last season. They swept them in a 4-game series to start the season to get back to 500. I remember they won a start where Patrick Corbin gave up 5 runs in the first inning. They ended up winning that game, 12-9 that one was? Ridiculous. So, this team has been able to beat up on the Marlins. This hasn't been a historical thing, but last season, the Nationals ran right over the Marlins, dominated them the entire season, and I get it. Miami's looking really good right now. Oh, they have a better record than the Nats. They're 6-6? Do not care. This is fool's gold. This team's not actually that good, all right? They showed their true colors in the Mets series. This is easy money tonight in the Washington Nationals. The Mets beat them 2 out of 3. Max Meyer had a great start, but he's not pitching the series for the Marlins, so who cares? Xavier Edwards has been all right. Mervis has been cool. Nick Fortes has been hitting the ball all right. This team is not going to compete with the Nationals. The Nats are sweeping this week, and I'm telling you. And they get their best 3 pitchers on the mound, Parker, Gore, Williams. So tonight, Mitchell Parker goes 7 innings, 0 runs, and the Nats beat the Marlins tonight. The bullpen will give up a run. I'm going to say Nats win 6-1 today. Yep, Nationals money line, lock it in. It's a complete lock today. The Nats are not losing in Miami. And if they do, I don't know. I'll wear a Marlins jersey tomorrow for this video. Sure. Give me the Nats. Next up, we go to our second money line of the day. Yes, we are hate watching the Mariners again. And this is not an emotional pick. This is not an emotional pick because this actually makes sense. Look at the pitching matchup tonight, guys. Bryce Miller, Jacob deGrom. And I know what you're thinking. Jacob deGrom, is this 2018? No. Jacob deGrom is still very capable. He did not have a good start against the Rays. They still won that game, by the way, but deGrom goes 5 2/3, gives up 4 runs in his last start against Tampa Bay. His first start of the year, 5 innings, 2 hits, gets the win against the Boston Red Sox. I get it. deGrom's kind of washed. He's 36. Well, I wouldn't say he's not as good as he used to be, obviously, right? deGrom 36, though, not the Jacob deGrom we knew in his prime. Regardless, he gets to face the Seattle Mariners, who are continuously losing guys. Victor Robles out for the foreseeable future, and then just got reported today that Ryan Bliss is having surgery for a torn bicep, and he's out 4 to 5 months. And I get it, Ryan Bliss, wasn't their best guy. He made 2 base running errors when I watched this team live in San Francisco, but you take another guy away from this Mariners lineup, and it keeps on getting more depleted. Robles out, Bliss out. Donovan Solano's got to play every single day for this team now? My goodness. They still can't hit. I don't care they beat the Astros. Arozarena closed his eyes and got lucky and hit a grand slam. And then the Astros just they choked. They choked in the 9th inning. They're a tag away from winning that game, are the Astros in the bottom of the 9th. Okay? That's fine. The Rangers are better than Houston this season, and the Mariners still have not figured it out hitting-wise. Guys, Julio bats 180. At his best game of the year, he had a big double to basically give them the win or set them up to win the game. He still bats 180. Jorge Polanco's been by far their best guy. He bats 370. Mitch Garver bats 140. Cal Raleigh bats 180. Arozarena got lucky, but he bats 190, and he swings for the fences every single time. Luke Raleigh bats 160. Rowdy Tellez bats 050. This team is not good. Dylan Moore's solid, I'll give you that. The Mariners still are not good at baseball. Okay, and then Bryce Miller. All right, Bryce Miller is part of their big 5. I mean, hell, every starter they have, I know, again, they're still starting Luis F. Castillo because George Kirby's out. But with their normal starters, sure, all of these guys are great, and Bryce Miller's one of them. Bryce Miller hasn't been impressive so far this year. He's pitched against both the NorCal teams this year, the A's and the Giants. It just hasn't been that good. The Giants had 7 hits against them, 4 runs, 3 walks. The A's, and that was in 5 innings, and the A's in 5 innings against Bryce Miller, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks. He hasn't been all that impressive, and I'll say that the Rangers have a better lineup than both of those teams. Like, I like the A's when they get going, but Texas right now looks like the best team in the AL West, and they are the best team in the AL West. I'll just be honest. And they've been the best team in the division without Marcus Semien doing anything yet. Semien's batting 120. Seager's gotten it going. He's batting 220 now. Jace Young's been phenomenal this season. Adolis Garcia still, Higashioka's been okay. But, I mean, this Rangers team is a much better hitting unit, I personally believe, than the Giants. Yeah, the Giants are going to have their nice. Jung-Ho Lee's going to, and Heliot Ramos. These guys and Matt Chapman, they're going to find ways to get on base. But the overall better team is the Texas Rangers. And the Rangers do send Jacob deGrom on the mound tonight, which I think is going to be fine for them. I've not been impressed with Bryce Miller so far this season. I'm sure he's going to pick it up. But so far, nothing impressive. I think the Rangers are the better baseball team. They have the better bats, obviously. In the pitching matchup, I'm going to take Jacob deGrom tonight over Bryce Miller. So give me the Texas Rangers to win this game on the road. It's not an emotional pick. It's just a hate watch. It's all it is. And it's just the Mariners suck. I remain adamant on the fact they are the worst team in the American League, other than the White Sox. I'll give them that. They are the 14th best team in the American League. They will lose to the Texas Rangers tonight, and I don't think it's particularly close. As long as DeGrom has somewhat of a half-decent performance, DeGrom gives up max 1 run. That means the Mariners as a whole score max 3 runs. So can Texas get at least 4? 100%. Rangers win the game 6-2. Give me Texas to win this one on the road at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. To our 4th best bet of the video, let's go to our daily player prop. Let's go to Sacramento, California, the state capital, obviously. We're going Juan Soto over 1.5 hits, runs, RBI. There, yeah, butchered that. Did I just put HHR? That should say hits. It should be HRR. Excuse me. It's 1.5. This feels fine to me with Juan Soto. Again, 2 hits does it for us, and it's minus 120, sure. Soto hit this pretty much every single game of the Marlins series except for 1, so that's just 2 out of 3, but still, Juan's been able to do this pretty effectively. I think the only thing stopping us from Juan Soto hitting this mark, Juan's hit this pretty much in every single game he's played this year, because he scores a bunch of runs, because what's going on behind him in the lineup have been able to come through, and we'll get to that a little bit with the Mets in a second, but this has been an easy line for Juan Soto all year long. I know the Mets are coming off a shutout loss to the Marlins, but other than that game, yeah, Soto has been driven in. He's been getting on base effectively. So Juan Soto's been having a decent season, right? But I think it's a very achievable mark for him. Juan gets on base a lot, and our biggest threat, honestly, is Soto getting walked. But at the same time, Juan will score runs, even if he, hey, a walk, all right, puts him on base, gives us an opportunity. Sure, we're going to need multiple opportunities there, but there's many spots for us to win with this, because again, hits, RBI, and runs. First of all, a home run does it for us, and Juan Soto has hit a grand total of 1 home run this season. So, that is what it is, but the potential is there. Again, Soto feels like he's very due for a home run. On top of that, if he gets walked, which Juan Soto gets walked a lot, he's going to potentially score, because what is around him in this Mets lineup, right? Okay, so he bats behind Lindor, but Juan's in the 2 right now. That means behind him in the lineup is Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo, Starling Marte. Likely no Jesse Winker in the lineup tonight because the lefty JP Sears in the mound, and I understand that's why potentially the line is where it's at with Juan Soto, because, Sears is a lefty, but I've never really minded the lefty-lefty matchup with Juan Soto. I'll be completely blunt honest with you. I don't watch as much Juan Soto as I used to, because I used to watch Juan Soto every single day when he was with Washington, but Juan is not the worst lefty-lefty hitter, and that shouldn't really affect him too much, if I'm being honest with you. And when we look at the guys, behind him in the lineup, all it takes is a Juan Soto double, or hell, just a base knock, and then Alonso to get a hold of one with a favorable matchup for him, Starling Marte to get a hold of one, Brandon Nimmo move him over, I'm not really expecting the most power out of Brandon Nimmo in his little sprint to first base, which just annoys me every time he gets walked, but regardless, right, there is big potential for Soto in this spot, and I really don't mind it. I think it's actually a very good spot for Juan Soto tonight. Again, a home run will do it, and I understand why the line's where it's at, because I feel like, I looked at Lindor's line today. Lindor's at 2.5 hits, runs, and RBI, which I understand. It's just because the lefty's on the mound with JP Sears. But I think this is fine for us. I'm going to take Juan Soto over 1.5 on all of this. I was going to show you guys a tweet comparing Juan Soto's stats to James Wood's stats. I couldn't find the side-by-side, but just know James Wood is maybe better than Juan Soto. I'm just saying. I'm not completely serious, but am I? Talk soon. We'll revisit this at the end of the year. But the chosen Juan Soto is going to come through tonight, 1.5 hits, home runs, hits, RBI, and runs. It should be pretty easy. Juan scores a lot of runs. Like, almost every game he scores a run. And then on top of that, okay, if he just gets 1 hit, then we're fine. So I feel pretty good about this spot. I really like the line. I don't care JP Sears is on the mound. By the way, Sacramento, ball flies there. One might hit a home run tonight. Just saying. Let's move on to our final best bet of the night, and we go to our daily NRFI. Didn't hit yesterday, unfortunately, but tonight, give me 6 outs, Matthew Boyd and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, right? Dodgers, Cubs, it is the Tokyo series that we got earlier in the season, and we just need 6 outs from these 2 squads. Okay, the biggest threat's obviously Matthew Boyd. We need 3 outs, pal. I think Yoshinobu Yamamoto will get us those 3 outs. I'm not too concerned. I am a little bit concerned with Matt Boyd. And I understand, he's been really good this season. And against some good teams, too, the Diamondbacks and the Padres. I get a little scared, though, because for as much as I don't like them, I understand how great the Dodgers are. Okay? I just do. So I know what's coming in this lineup. But Boyd, again, through 2 starts, has been shut down for the Cubs. ERA of 0 so far. So we should be fine there. Okay, look at the matchups Boyd's going to get. Lefty-lefty on Shohei Ohtani. All right. Mookie Betts can't hurt you. And then Tommy Edman. And then Teo under that. Okay. Hey, the guy's gone, 12 innings so far without giving up 1 run? Let's just get 1 out, all right? Sorry, 1 inning done, and then we don't care what happens the rest of the game. You look at Yoshinobu Yamamoto, I understand the Cubs bats are doing fairly well in their own right as well. Kyle Tucker's been on fire this season, batting .322. Seiya Suzuki's been really good, batting .300. Michael Busch is batting .270 as well. But Yoshinobu Yamamoto, in 3 starts, 1.69 ERA. He gave up, 1 run in the Cubs game, 2 runs in the Tigers game, and goes up against one of the best lineups in all baseball in the Philadelphia Phillies. 6 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs. Right? I'm okay with this. I really am. I understand this is a little bit of an ambitious pick because of the lineups that we're getting, but we're going to trust the elite pitchers. I am always going to, and especially obviously, in NRFI situations, I am always going to back the pitchers, the elite pitchers over the elite hitters, because obviously, it's harder to hit a baseball than it is to get someone out. It just is. There's a reason, guys, why, Ted Williams, when he batted .400, it's one of the greatest seasons of all times. They call him Teddy Ballgame for a reason, right? When that guy batted .400 in one season, which is an unthinkable feat, at the same time, the guy still got out 6 times out of 10. It's hard to hit a baseball. So that's why I'm always going to side with the elite pitcher like a Yamamoto. And I'm not even going to put Matthew Boyd in that elite range yet. But the guys who've been, Boyd's been great this year. So this, for the first 2 games, sure, he's been elite. I'm always going to side with the pitchers over the hitters in this small sample spot. Because again, it's 1 at bat. And sure, again, that's where the NRFI will come back and sting you at times. But in this specific circumstance, why not? Give me 6 outs here with Matthew Boyd and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Again, the biggest threat is by far Shohei Ohtani, but lefty-lefty to start the game. Hell, I witnessed Brad Lord strike out Shohei Ohtani to start a baseball game a couple days ago in D.C. Why can't Matthew Boyd, a veteran, 34 years old, who's a lefty, with a very favorable matchup against Ohtani? And then for Yamamoto, the biggest threat is 100% Kyle Tucker. He went 0 in his last game against the Texas Rangers, but yes, Tucker is an absolute monster in there. He's been paying off the contract already for the Chicago Cubs. I think Yamamoto is able to get through it. When Yamamoto pitched against the Cubs the first time around, again, 5 innings, 1 run, we should be fine. He did clear the NRFI in that spot if you care, right? The Cubs, what did they score the 1 run in? It was the 2nd inning. So, Kyle Tucker went 0 for 2 against Yamamoto the first time around in Japan. I think Yamamoto gets him again. He replicates what he did in Japan, gets that 1-2-3 inning, and we pick up the NRFI here with the Cubs and the Dodgers with Matthew Boyd and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So, folks, thank you all for watching our 5 best bets. Oh, by the way, minus 130, the NRFI line tonight. So, let's hit. Folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here for April 11th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily MLB Best Bets. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.